Hey guys, Geisha here. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to give a quick warning. This episode may include sensitive topics like violence, murder, suicide, mental health struggles, sexual assault, and other real life events that could be upsetting. We know that these topics can be tough to hear, and your well-being is super important to us. So please take care of yourself while listening and feel free to skip this episode if needed. This is episode 95, The David Case, What We Know So Far. Welcome back to Co-op Chronicles. This is episode 95. As always, I am Pint-Sized Geisha, and I have Blacklabel.
Hello.
And Azzilee.
Hello.
And today is
We're going to be talking about the David case happening
the
right
David
now.
case.
I've been following it a lot since it popped up last year.
You went down the rabbit hole.
I did.
Yeah.
So this is covering what is known so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, hey, this is what exactly happened or what he did, because it's still happening. It's just what we know so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any PSAs?
I have a PSA.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
I don't know if I did this PSA already or not. However, did you guys know that in the United States and New Zealand, I could literally go outside, scoop the dirt from my backyard into a capsule, label it, and sell it in every major store in the United States and call it a supplement?
No, you did not do this, but I remember you saying Kara said something.
Yes, Kara told me this, the provider that I work with, right? There is no regulation or FDA checks on supplements in the United States. It's literally you can put whatever you want in it.
That's
And nobody checks it.
Yeah, that's crazy. A lot of people take supplements here.
Mm-hmm.
I take a lot of supplements.
Yeah.
Yes, you do take a lot of supplements.
I'm taking dirt supplements right now.
You could be. And this is my own view on supplements. I am not a medical professional. I am not giving any advice. My own view about it is if I don't need a supplement, I'm not going to take a supplement. If my vitamin D is low, I will take a vitamin D. If my potassium is low, I'm going to take a potassium. But I'm not going to take supplements or put anything, even if they're natural, into my body when my body can produce enough on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting fact.
Yeah. Anything up with you guys?
I was going to talk about something, but I just need to let it go, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh. Okay.
I have one of those too. I'm not going to even say anything.
Yeah.
about it.
It's a new day.
Whatever.
I need to stop
I can
thinking
let it go.
All right. So for this episode, I'm kind of just going to tell you guys, because you guys don't really know anything about it either. So it's just me talking to you guys and the audience. And then at the end, after all the sad, depressing stuff that I'm telling you, Azlee's going to open a pack of Pokemon cards.
Wait, what made you so interested in this case?
Well, I watched it last year. I was like following Annie Elise. She does like the Seriously podcast, and I was following that chapter podcast, and it was like very interesting. For one, the victim is young, very young, and then obviously the person being accused of everything is older and a big person.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, I think it was like the young thing kind of bothered me. It's like, I don't like that.
I think it's harder when it's like
A kid
Yeah.
involved. So
a teen or younger.
I was just going to ask, did you hear about Foss High School?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Label was telling me that something was happening there, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
It
don't
happened
know.
on what?
On
What
the
happened?
2 days ago?
Yeah, like 5 kids.
Thursday.
5 kids got
Thursday.
stabbed, and then like a
Mhm.
teacher got stabbed because one of the students.
A student stabbed
What?
like 5 kids and a teacher.
And they were in like serious condition. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to them.
They're expected all to live, but like 3 of them were taken to the hospital. And the kid, I think, is like 16, 17, but he's going to be tried as an adult.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Crazy
Did
world
they
out
say
there.
what the cause was?
They just kind
Somebody
of,
stole his vape.
yeah, and so they got in a fight about it.
Bruh. I have my biggest gripe in life right now are fucking vapes. I fucking hate those things.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, but let's get into it, okay? So the case everyone started talking about. All right. So sometimes the story comes out, and at first it almost doesn't seem real. Not because it's impossible. Obviously, anything's possible, but because the details are so heavy and the name attached to what happened and the people that are being recognized, it's like you kind of don't know what's going on, and that's what happened with this case. So over the last few days, I mean, it's happened. It's been like a year, but over the last few days, last couple weeks, like more stuff has been happening with this story, and it's been out everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Headlines, TikToks, YouTube videos, true crime channels, new clips, people trying to understand what happened, people trying to separate the facts from rumors, people trying to defend such and such or say such and such. And at the center of it is David, real name David Anthony Burke, a singer who a lot of people knew from music, social media, and songs that blew up online. But now his name is being talked about for something completely different, something much darker. He has been charged in connection with the death of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
Prosecutors allege she was killed in 2025, and her remains were found later in a Tesla connected to Burke. He has pleaded not guilty, and this case is still active. So that part matters a lot because it's not like this is what he has done yet. So the case is still ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like technically innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So tonight we're not going to sit here and say like this is exactly what happened.
Mhm.
This is not what that episode's about. It's about like what's being reported right now, what prosecutors are alleging, what has been confirmed so far, and what still has to be proven in court. Because in a case like this, obviously wording matters. There's a huge difference between saying someone did something and someone saying like this is what they're accused of. And since this case is still ongoing, we have to keep that line very clear. But even with that caution, this case is still massive, not just because of who was accused, but because Celeste. She was a 14-year-old girl, basically a child. And I think that has to stay at the center of this. And that's kind of like what bothered me the most because Tiana's turning 14 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we have a lot of daughters. And especially when a case involves a celebrity or someone with a following, it is easy for the name recognition to take over the story and over the victim.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not just a celebrity headline. This is a case about a young girl who lost her life and a family who deserves answers and a legal process that is still unfolding. And I think that's why the story feels so heavy. If you guys haven't heard about this or anything, just sit back and listen because it has a lot of layers. A rising artist, a missing teenager, a disturbing discovery, and serious charges, and a lot of graphic allegations from prosecutors.
Mm-hmm.
And the public trying to understand what is real, what is alleged, and what still has to be proven. So I'm going to walk you both through this from the beginning, not assuming you know everything because you don't. Not assuming the audience knows anything. We're going to start with who David is, who Celeste was, how this case started getting attention, and then move carefully into the timeline and the allegations. And again, throughout all this, we're going to be careful because this is not a finished story. This
Mhm.
case is still ongoing. Geisha's just going to sit there and say, the whole time while she's scrolling.
Probably.
All right, Geisha. Before we get into details, when you hear that a known artist is suddenly connected to a case like this, does it make you feel more shocked or does it make you more cautious about what to believe?
To be honest, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's
I'm
like
really
famous
not
people.
surprised with like famous people and the younger famous people and um sometimes their music is about violent things
Mhm.
and maybe they have experienced those things or about drugs and maybe they've experimented with drugs but I feel like there's a lot of maybe artists that are maybe portraying themselves in a way that might not be true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hey, maybe some are portraying them as factual,
Mm-hmm. Azzilee.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I feel like just in general, people in power always take advantage of those who aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Azzilee, since you haven't really read into it yet as well, when I first mentioned this just now to you, did it sound like a real case or did it sound like one of those like internet stories?
The sad thing is that it sounds like a real case.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I feel like stuff like this happens all the time around the world.
that's true.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Young kids are like really vulnerable.
Yeah, very
And
susceptible.
yeah.
Mhm.
And adults are really they're not the best people sometimes.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
Okay. So, who is David before all this? So before we get into the timeline, we're gonna talk about him. So no charges, no Celeste yet. I think we need to start out with who David is, what he was known for before all of this, because this is the part that matters, and this is why this case hits people so hard. Most people didn't know him from crime headlines; they knew him from music. His name is David Anthony Burke, but he performs under the name David. D4vd. He became known as a young artist whose music spread through TikTok, streaming platforms, and online communities. Um, from what I understand and what I've read, he was like trying to become a streamer, like a Fortnite streamer, and his stuff kept getting copyrighted because the music that he played in the background. So I guess his mother mentioned him to make his own music and play it
Mhm.
over his stuff, and then he started getting more views on the music than his actual gameplay, so he kind of pursued the music thing. Um, because for a lot of listeners, his name was connected to songs, playlists, emotional music, social media, not something like this. And I think that contrast is what makes this case feel so jarring, because when someone is known publicly for one thing and then their name is suddenly attached to a case involving murder charges, it creates this disconnect. You almost have to stop and ask, like, wait, are we talking about the same person?
Mhm.
And in this case, according to multiple reports, yes, uh, David Anthony Burke, known professionally as David, has been charged in connection with the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. He has pleaded not guilty, and this case is still ongoing. Like I said, that part is very important. And I think it's just rough, because when people have like a fan base, people start going back through everything,
Mhm.
old posts, lyrics, videos, interviews, anything they could find to kind of understand where the signs were and try to connect the dots, trying to make something or sense of something, and that feels impossible to square with the public's image of what they had before. But that's also where we have to be careful, because public image is not evidence. Lyrics are not automatically evidence. A song is not proof of a crime, and online theories can move faster than actual facts. We did an episode where we talked about like how the internet spreads
Mhm.
false information. So for this episode, we're going to separate those things. What prosecutors are alleging, like I said before, and stuff that still needs to be proven. Again, David was like a young artist growing up. He had like a growing career. I think he was on tour when they found Celeste in his Tesla. Yeah. And she was just like in a parking garage in the trunk
Bless
of a
you.
Tesla.
He
Thank you.
left her in a trunk
Yeah.
in a parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a public parking garage.
Yeah. And then I think the people that worked there started noticing the smell, so they called the police about it. And then that's when they
Mhm.
found her.
That's crazy.
Geisha,
Yeah.
if you, I don't know, hear about any type of celebrity or person in power with this type of case, does it make it feel more shocking because people already know their name? Like who the artist is
Yeah, I would
or celebrity is?
anticipate so, because
Mm-hmm.
they're well known, they're a public figure.
It's like
Um,
people won't believe it, like, oh, they couldn't do it.
yeah, I think people like to imagine they know what a celebrity may or may not be like based off of movies, clips, videos. But then at the end of the day, you don't really know this person. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
don't know the inner workings of their mind. They could be a little unhinged,
Mm-hmm.
unbalanced.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, also I want to add, like, some of his songs, they almost sound like him talking about murders. For instance, let's see. There's a song connected to whatever. They think it's based on what he did. It's called can't find the name. But he uses like these lyrics in a song. I think it's called Romantic Suicide or Romantic Homicide. Sorry. And some of the lyrics kind of sound like that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Insane behavior. Jesus.
Yeah, and if you listen to the song, it kind of sounds crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then, who was Celeste Rivas? So before we go any further again, Celeste is very young. Again, with cases like this, especially with a known artist involved, it is very easy, as I said, for the big name to take over the little name. People obviously click because they recognize David. People talk about the allegations, and they say they're shocking. People start digging through the songs, post comments, old videos, all of that. But at the center of this case, it's not just a headline. It is a 14-year-old girl, Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, she was a child, basically. She had a family. She had people who loved her, and now know her name is attached to one of the most disturbing cases being reported right now. Again, I think they speculate that she was 12 years old when they started talking, and he is currently, I think, 22, 23. So I'm not sure how old he would have been. Maybe 21 when when they arrested him, or when they allegedly hooked up. She had people
Don't do that, people. That's bad.
she had people who love her. And now her name is attached again, like I said, to one of the most disturbing cases. And again, the court process is still ongoing. But no matter what happens in court, this part does not change. Celeste was a young girl whose life was ended way too far soon. And I want to be careful here because this is where a lot of true crime coverage can go wrong. Sometimes the victim gets reduced to the worst thing that can happen to them, or the story becomes all about the accused person, as I was mentioning earlier. People online start treating the case like a puzzle instead of remembering there was a person involved in this, a real person.
Mhm.
So when we talk about Celeste, we're going to keep it respectful. So what's being reported is that her remains were later found in a Tesla connected to Burke. That discovery is what pushed the case into national headlines. But by that point, according to prosecutors, Celeste had already been dead for months. And that timeline alone is hard to sit with because when you hear 14 years old, it changes everything. This isn't just a shocking celebrity case. This isn't just internet drama. This is a case involving a minor, alleged abuse, a death investigation, and a family that now has to watch the whole thing unfold publicly. And I think that's one of the reasons this story feels heavy too, is because the public is looking at the music, the theories, the headlines, the name recognition. But Celeste should not get lost in all of that. She is the reason this case matters, not the fame, not the shock value, and not the online theories. It's her. And as we move forward, that's the balance we have to keep when we can talk about what's being alleged. We can talk about the timeline. We could talk about why people are so disturbed with the case. But we have to keep coming back to the fact that this was a young girl whose life was ended too short, and the court process is now trying to determine the fact of what actually happened and who is legally responsible.
Mhm.
Geisha,
Yeah.
when you hear the victim in this case was only 14, does that immediately change how heavy the story feels to you?
A little bit. I still 14 is very young. Very young. She had her whole life ahead of her. But does it mean like, because she's a child that it's more hurtful or more painful than if it was an adult?
I think so, in
You
my
know?
opinion.
Yeah. It does because she does have her life all ahead of her. But at the same time, a human life is a human life, no matter if it's, to me, 14 or 99. It's just like, yeah, she did have her whole life ahead of her and she didn't live very long, and it's very sad.
Mm.
I don't know how I feel about the age thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking.
Oh,
I think it's hard for people because when you talk about like death in general
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to age, people always like, for young people, it's always, oh, they had so much to live for.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're thinking about a future they could have had.
Exactly.
But when it's an older person, you're like, wow, they lived such a like sad life or such a like full life because
Mhm.
they lived their life. So you're
Exactly.
kind of you're comparing two different spectrums
Mm-hmm.
that you can't relate, I think. in a
Yeah.
sense, because even if she did have her whole life, it definitely, you don't know if it would have been a good life, could have been a bad life.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. To me, at the end of the day, life is life. If you take a life, that life is just as important as another life that was taken. Taken?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Taken.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's a good perspective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So people report that prosecutors say that they met when Celeste was 11, and that a sexual relationship allegedly began later when she was 13. Um, what prosecutors are also alleging is that it's already serious enough, and this is where the case kind of becomes heavy because that stuff is already like kind of a big, I guess, I don't know, a thing. Like it's already illegal to do what that was alleged.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then prosecutors also allege that there was a dynamic relationship that should not have existed in the first place, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And that matters because it gives context to why this case is being charged the way it is. Then we move to 2025. So, again, according to prosecutors, Celeste was allegedly killed in April 2025. So, last year, um, of last month. And then reports say prosecutors believe Burke killed her after she allegedly threatened to expose their relationship. Again, that is prosecution's allegation, not a proven fact.
Mm-hmm.
And again, let's pause for a second because this is one of those parts where wording really matters. We're not saying this is what happened. We're saying like this is what the prosecutors are alleging. Again, we can't say anything that he definitively did something because the defense has denied those allegations, as Burke has pleaded not guilty and the court process is still ongoing. But from the prosecution side, this is the core of the case. They allege that Celeste was being threatened to reveal, or she was threatening to reveal the relationship, and then that created the motive behind the killing. And that's what the timeline is, or why the timeline is so important, because prosecutors are not just saying there was a death. They're saying like a whole story led up to what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like who knew who, what the relationship was, what happened before 2025 of April, and why they believe Celeste was killed. Then after April, the next major part of the timeline is the gap, because Celeste's remains were not found right away. They discovered it months later in
Mhm.
September of 2025 in a Tesla connected to Burke. So what's April to September? Was that 5 months? Yeah, 5
April,
months.
May, June, July, August, September. Yeah.
So 5 months is when they later found her body in a Tesla connected to David. And that gap is one of the things that make this case so disturbing because her body's there. You're talking about months between the alleged killing and the discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Months where her family were basically looking for her and did not have answers. Months where the case had not yet become what it is now. And then when the discovery finally happened, that's when everything exploded publicly. And that's when this stopped being something hidden in a timeline and became national news. And I think for listeners who are hearing this fresh, this is the part where the case starts to feel overwhelming because it's not just one shocking detail. Again, there's crazy amount of layers. There's a minor involved, a known artist, alleged relationship, alleged killing, delayed discovery, a car connected to the accused, and then eventually charges. And this is when the story spreads, or that's why the story spreads so fast, because um, it's also why we have to keep walking a careful line when we speak about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So again, right now, what we have is timeline of allegations, reporting, and evidence that prosecutors say supports their case. Not a finished legal conclusion yet. Geisha,
Mm-hmm.
hearing the timeline laid out like this, does it make the case feel more disturbing because prosecutors are saying this allegedly built over time? Because like obviously you have to groom. It's like grooming involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5 months.
5 months. Well, it was 5 months from when they think that
He was killed.
she was killed to when they were discovered. But then
Mhm.
if you do the timeline even more than that, how long were they dating? How long were they like
Yeah, they said 11.
doing all that stuff?
So 4 years.
4 years.
Or I think they said when she was found, she was 15, and when she died, she was 14. So yeah, crazy.
That's crazy.
She was just a baby.
She's just a babe.
She was just like, like to be real. about to be Aria's age this year when allegedly they started talking
Yeah.
to an adult.
That's crazy.
Very bad.
That's super bad.
Azzilee, since you're hearing this fresh, obviously, the gap between April and the Discovery Month later on, what stands out most to you through all this that I've mentioned so far?
I can't stop thinking about how just like mentally unhinged killers are. By being able to just leave a body in a car in a parking garage
Yeah.
for 5 months. Like
Yeah. That's insane.
that's truly unhinged because
Mhm.
it's just like are you just so were you just so overwhelmed with like anger that you didn't care if you were eventually caught, or were you like hoping to get caught, or like what was your mindset? Because that's especially in a car
Yeah, so
that is allegedly connected to you. That's crazy.
and also her body was found dismembered.
Were there
Like
there cameras in the parking garage? So they could like accurately say like it was him, or if it is it just allegedly because they don't know.
I think there is cameras of somebody dropping it off.
But they don't know if it's him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why they're like allegedly. It's
Yeah.
his vehicle, his name on the vehicle, so like he could possibly be the suspect.
Yeah, and he was on tour when they found it.
Yeah. He wasn't even around.
Yeah. That's even more suspicious.
Yeah, and also she was found dismembered. She was missing 2 of her fingers.
I'm not saying it was him,
she was-
but
yeah.
it's like if even if he didn't do it, who would have the motive to want to set him up like that?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Who would be?
There's just like so many questions that like it just puts him in a bad light. Not that I'm saying he did it. It's just like it's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
Who did you piss off? If you didn't do it, who did you piss off to want to frame you?
Yeah.
And if you did do it, you're crazy.
Yeah. So everything I'm about to talk about this segment is based on what prosecutors are alleging in the court filings and what news outlets are reporting. Again, yeah, she was found dismembered. Like her arms were chopped from her elbow, her legs were dismembered. They said she was missing one of her eyes. It could be from the decomp, from the state of her body. So it was pretty bad. Again, David has pleaded not guilty. These allegations have not been proven in court. But this is the version prosecutors are putting forward right now. So according to the prosecutors, April 2025 is when everything changed. They allege that Celeste was killed that month. They claim that the motive was connected to her allegedly, again, threatening to expose their relationship. Just hearing that already changes the weight of the story because now we're not just talking about rumors online. We're talking about prosecutors laying out the timeline and the motive. Again, alleged, not proven. But this is what they're saying. And I think this is where people listening fresh might have some of the same reaction I did when I heard about this stuff and read up on it. Because how did it get to this point, Because the prosecution's version of events is not just like this was something that just happened and it was tragic. It's that Celeste was allegedly seen as a threat because of what she knew and because of what she might reveal. And that is a very serious claim. And that this is why the case feels so disturbing. Because when you hear about prosecutors say that the alleged motive was silence, it makes the entire timeline before this hit a little different. Because obviously there's a huge age difference. Alleged relationship. There was secrecy. I guess she had like a tattoo of his name on her inner finger. The months before the discovery, all of it starts connecting in the way the prosecutors are trying to present it. And this is also where we have to be careful not to turn allegations into facts before the court does, because the defense is going to challenge this.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. And that's their job, the prosecution is presenting a case. They're explaining what they believe happened. And the defense is obviously going to deny it and say that why their case is wrong. And the court has to decide if he's guilty or not. But what prosecutors are alleging, again, are extremely serious accusations. They claim Celeste was killed by violent means. I believe they're saying her death was a homicide. She was dismembered with a chainsaw. I think this is one of those moments where you have to slow down because there's a real person again and involved in the center of this, Celeste, who was 14. Prosecutors are saying her life ended in an incredible, violent way. I believe her body had a bunch of like medications to make her like pass out or something like that, and I think that's how it happened. Again, prosecutors allege that there were efforts to hide or destroy evidence after Celeste's death, and again, this is alleged. Because again, details being reported are very horrifying. They're hard to hear, and they make people want answers immediately. But the problem is that this case is still moving forward. Like, they literally just arrested him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they found her body in September, but they're just now arresting him.
Because they have to,
Dang.
you have to build up stuff, you know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And when a story is this graphic and this public, people online are going to start filling the blanks and assuming things. They start connecting lyrics. They start pulling up old videos. I was on the toilet earlier, reading and on this case again, and there's like a post of like him last year. I don't know if it was like it was like sometime, and he was like streaming, and he had like some guests over, and it was like on Twitch or Kick or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like apologizing to his friends about the smell in the house.
Oh no.
Yeah. So people are trying to say like it already happened and that was like the decomp, but we don't know. It's just like people are pulling up old videos and stuff. And that's what happens with the internet. They start skimming through everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, we stick to what's being reported from court filings. We say what the prosecutors allege and we say what the defense denies. And we do not pretend we know what the court has not decided yet. But even with that caution, like this whole segment right here, it turns very disturbing to almost impossibly like hard to process with what I said during this one. Because according to prosecutors, this was not just a death. It was alleged, again, to silence a child, followed by the alleged efforts to hide her body. And, you know, it's very hard, especially because it's not just celebrity gossip, you know, it's a kid. I mean, I don't know what else to say for this one, because that one's it's just crazy to think about, like a child, an adult, a celebrity of power.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, it's rough. Geisha, hearing what the prosecutors are alleging, what I just said, does this feel like the point where the case becomes completely different from just a celebrity headline, considering the way she was apparently found in, you know, silence and all that stuff?
To me, I don't care if you're a celebrity or not. It's still wrong.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, usually celebrity headlines are not involving, well, I guess, never mind, with all the other stuff happening in the world right now.
Yeah. Again, I don't care if you're a celebrity. I think it's like more worse you're a celebrity and you're in the public image, because people look up to you. There's probably like at least one person in this world that looked up to them. This person David, as like, oh yeah, he's so great, or
Great
oh yeah, I
music.
love him, and oh yeah, blah blah blah. And now like, yeah.
I heard his music's actually good too. That's like the crazy thing.
Yeah. And now look, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Azzilee, what's the hardest part? The alleged motive, the age of the victim, or the fact that prosecutors say that there was like efforts to hide it? There was like, you know, it was planned.
I think the planning. I
You're
think
like
that
cut off.
Planning is what I think about the most when you guys talk about cases like these, because like I think like the age gap thing is like, it happens a lot more than people want to think about.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And so it's just like planning. Like, you were planning to kill this girl for some unknown reason, and then you went off the rails and you dismembered her. That's crazy. I don't get it, but that's the most unsettling thing for me. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like that people are capable of murder like this, of murder in general, but murder of this scale, like so methodical.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, so like there's like the timeline before this, like the family was looking for her, she was just like a missing persons, you know, or
Mhm.
person. They were looking for this 14-year-old for months. Her family was. Um, and then all of a sudden there's a body, and then there's a vehicle, and it's connected to such and such. And so like this is where like the internet kind of starts going crazy, especially with like all the true crime creators and the people who knew his music, the people who have never heard of him. Everybody starts trying to figure out, like I said, what happened. Um, like I said, I learned this from watching that chapter and Annie Elise, and then I went down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
and it's mind blowing to me. I mean, there's still a lot of stuff building up to it. There's videos of him in court, um, of him being arrested at his home, uh, and just like the music that he made, like that one song, "Romantic Homicide." You listen to it, and it's kind of crazy. There's like um, parts of the song of like a girl talking, and they're saying that that's her talking in that song,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just like a lot of weird coincidences, like
Coincidence.
very weird. And like he did a lot of interviews with a lot of other people. And what's crazy, I didn't add this in any of the segments, but there's like this rumor or this like thing going online. So when you look at his old videos online, um, it's alleged that there's two Celestes, one that he brought around his friends and one that he was with. They both look alike, but one was actually older. You can tell the difference between the two. A lot of people, like his friends, thought they were like she was like a college student, and that's the one they allege is the older fake Celeste that he brought around his friends. And then like the younger Celeste, you could tell she's got like the baby face, the baby fat, and like the tattoo, and you could tell it's like a different person. And it's like alleged that he used the older one as a fake to hide his younger one. And I don't know if it's like he had the older one around him when the younger one was missing or not, but it's just a lot of weird rumors going on about it. Like you can just Google fake Celeste versus real Celeste, and you'll see like images of them.
Have they found her?
The real one?
No,
Or the
fake
fake
one.
Oh, I didn't look into that part.
I
But
need to know if she's like still around him.
well, he's in
Well,
jail.
if she like was still around him up to the point of him getting arrested.
Yeah, that would be kind of crazy. But like, you look it up, and it's like weird, man. I don't know. There's just a lot of weird coincidences and rumors with this case. Yeah.
You said his friends said that he brought someone who looked older than her?
Yeah, so
around?
they said they met her, but they thought she was like in college. So a lot of people are saying that's the fake Celeste that they met. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. What if they're covering for him?
Well,
I'm not saying he did it.
I know a lot of people were or like spoke to about it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll wait for further information.
Let's see if I could find the. So this is what Celeste looks like.
Yeah, I've
Just
seen
a
her photo.
baby.
Yeah.
Just a baby. I'm trying to find the fake one.
Was the fake one around from the beginning, or did he just start bringing it around like recently? That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
Because like if it's recent, was he planning this for a long time? So he was trying to set up like, oh no, this is the Celeste I was hanging out with, and not that young one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like setting the field for his pieces to fall into place.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I gotta turn the blinds down. Hold on.
I gotta wait for more information to come out about this guy.
Yeah, I mean, there's like obviously it's a fresh case. We don't know a lot. I mean, there's just a lot of alleging going on.
Yes.
Prosecutors are alleging special circumstances.
Yes.
And that's why some reports mention like the possibility of life without parole or even the death penalty if he's convicted, because it's kind of a crazy case.
Question.
Yes.
What? Okay, I feel like everybody knows what pedophiles have to go through in prison. But what would happen? What do you think something similar would happen to this guy? Because he technically didn't like
I mean,
rape her, but he was with a kid, and I don't think felons look up to that. I think they kind of look down on you.
especially if it's a kid. It's
So,
a
like,
kid involved.
Would the death penalty be better, or would he be better in prison?
Yeah. I don't
Well, the people in prison would get added time.
I think they already have life, so
Oh,
they don't
they're just
care.
like, who cares?
Like a lot of felons
Gotcha.
that I work with, they're just like, yo, I know this guy, and he like blah blah blah, and I'd be like, that's crazy. They're like, yeah, they're like there for life, so they don't care.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. They say like a lot of cops don't care what happens to like people that
Mhm.
hurt, killed children or involved in like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
They'll probably put him in like a different area to try to
Oh,
protect him,
maybe,
since
yeah.
he's got money.
that's
Yeah,
true.
type of situation.
didn't
I did
think about
read that. I don't remember the name, but that a man was hurting a 3-year-old, and the 3-year-old passed away, and he
Oh.
went to jail, and he died in prison.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't. People don't play around with that.
There's
kinda
just
stuff.
a lot of
Mhm.
stuff happening with kids too. Did you hear about the FedEx guy that just took a
He
knife?
hit
Yeah.
the girl, or
No, he took
He
a
like
kid
kidnapped a girl.
What?
and killed her.
was
Choked
her?
her.
Did her name start with an A?
I
I think
can't.
so.
I can't remember. I just know he took like
I-
a 7-year-old from
I
her
didn't
home.
know that. I don't know that
or-
story, but I do know like I've seen a lot of pictures posted of like a UPS driver. They put like a sign on their truck and they're like, "Your kids are safe with me," and then it was like hashtag justice for Athena or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a little
7-year-old.
girl.
Yeah. So that happened in
People are crazy.
November 2022.
And it's not the kid's fault at all. It's the grown person's fault.
Some people are not.
Oh, he did hit her with his van.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's like they hit her. 'Cause
Yeah.
Oh,
He said
I'm
he
thinking
hit
of
her-
another one. I think there's another one where there's like a delivery driver, because you can see the camera. He's driving and she's like in the back.
No, that's him.
Oh.
No, that was him.
Oh,
It's just the cases. It's the trial happening now. So he hit her, and it shows like she's in the next to him, right on the right side of him while he's driving. It's like night vision. Is that the one you're talking?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's this one.
so he hit her and then put her in the van,
yeah, he like panicked, kidnapped her, and put her in her van.
and then
And he was delivering. It was like on Christmas. He was delivering a Christmas present.
and
To-
then exploited her
to
and then killed her.
Athena. I don't even think he did anything to her. He
Oh.
just
he
killed
probably
her.
panicked.
Yeah, he just killed
Didn't know
her.
what to do.
And
But
he,
she was fine.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he did it.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
knows.
crazy.
Yeah, again, sorry for we're going off topic.
We're going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, again, so he's being accused for first-degree murder is one of the serious charges that someone can face. Again, what I was saying, that they're not sure if like he's going to get the death penalty or life without parole. They're alleging like there was intent. They're alleging that there was motive, and they're also alleging that there was steps taken before and after of Celeste's life. But
Mhm.
again, those are allegations. The defense is going to obviously challenge him. The court's going to have to decide what can actually be proven. I know a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, can his music be used against him?" But I don't think they can do that.
That's like saying any rapper could have their music used
Yeah.
against them, which is
Mhm.
crazy because it can't.
Yeah, and then there's like a lot of charges that are going to be tied to her age, and that's when it becomes heavier because obviously she was 14. Prosecutors are going to allege that there was sexual abuse involving a minor, and that's not just background, and that is the part why the charges are so severe, because when a child is involved, a lot of the time the law treats the case very differently. A lot of people get emotional and people start hearing it differently when there's a kid involved. And then there's a charge related to handling of Celeste's remains. And we don't need to be graphic beyond what's necessary there, but the prosecutors are alleging that after Celeste was killed, steps were taken to conceal what happened. I mean,
Mhm.
earlier I said
Yeah.
what happened to her allegedly, and how she was found dismembered. And I think that's why the case feels a little overwhelming, because it's not just one charge. There's a ton of charges. She was a minor. There was a relationship, homicide, a delayed discovery, allegations of concealment, and now the case that can carry like some of the most serious convictions or penalties possible. Very, very serious stuff. So again, when people are online, I feel like the responsible way of saying what's happening. You can't say he did this. You know, he is accused of this. The prosecutors are alleging this, and he has pleaded not guilty, so innocent until proven guilty. The case is still moving forward through the court, so we have to be very careful how we talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
Geisha, hearing the actual charges laid out, does it make the case feel even heavier than like a regular murder with kids involved, with the whole child and possible alleged relationship of a kid?
I feel like, I'm so sorry, but in today's society, we see it quite often about relationships with children. I think this one is just a little bit more because she was dismembered.
Yeah. Unhinged.
Very crazy.
If you're gonna do that to somebody, then that's definitely, I think, like, I feel like if you're gonna red rum somebody, that's definitely very, very unhinged. But if you red rum somebody and then dismember them and using the work to like actually get the pieces off,
Yeah.
that's super, very, very, very unhinged.
They didn't find like a weapon in his house.
They found a
that
bunch
he
of things in his
possibly
house.
could have
There's
used
there's
to
evidence.
allegedly dismember her.
Yeah, so there's evidence that the prosecutors say they have. Again, that's where the case starts moving forward from like the timeline into the evidence. Prosecutors say that they're in the building, and again, we have to say this clearly. This is what the prosecutors are alleging. But according to like reports on the case, prosecutors say they have digital and forensic evidence they believe supports all their allegations to this. So it's not like they're putting together a case by guessing. They say that all this matters because in this like a case like this, prosecutors are not just relying on one thing. Like they obviously have to build a chain and a timeline. And I messed up my stuff. Where's it at? Oh, right here. There's obviously a connection between Celeste and David, the alleged relationship, the alleged motive, and the location and the vehicle and what they say happened. So, like, they say they have evidence for this. Because when you hear evidence, you think of like one big smoking gun, but a lot of cases are not like that. Like, a lot of the time, there's pieces, obviously, what they call evidence. There's messages, there's photos, location data, DNA, purchases, witness statements, digital records, and prosecutors are trying to make all these pieces point in the same directions. According to reports, prosecutors allege that there were messages and explicit images connected to the alleged relationship. They also allege forensic evidence connects parts of the timeline to Burke's property and the vehicle. And again, that evidence still has to be tested in court. The defense is going to obviously challenge it, and the defense gets to question how it was collected and what it means and how it proves what the prosecution is trying to say. And whether that holds in court, we don't know. But this is why the case is starting to be talked a lot heavier now, because they say they have digital evidence, physical evidence, and a timeline, and the alleged communication between the two explaining the motive. So it's kind of crazy. And then again, what I was saying was about like people talk about that song and they're trying to like, oh, is this evidence? Or the court filing is not the same as TikTok theory. Like you can't just use like I guess like online reports as evidence. Kind of crazy. You guys have anything to share? You guys are quiet over there.
This is all new to me, so I'm just listening to this.
Yeah, it's very
supposed
sad to me.
murder.
Yeah, it's crazy that they do say they have a ton of evidence.
Yeah, they probably can't share it with the public right now.
Yeah, they're probably trying to put it together because obviously, like DAs or whoever they like try to prosecute, they don't go forward with the case until they have everything down packed. And usually when a DA prosecutes, it means like they're guaranteed to get the conviction because DAs don't like having a mark on their record.
Yeah.
Very very serious stuff. Azzilee, do you think people online sometimes treat theories like evidence before they actually know what the investigators have?
Yeah, we talked about this. We know what happens.
It does.
That's probably why they're trying to keep it hush hush because one false leak could probably screw them over.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to be really careful about what they say
Yeah.
to media
Yeah.
and share.
It's hard to continue on with like to say more. I mean, we obviously don't have more yet. This is just what we know.
Mm-hmm. Part 1.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna put something together once we find out more. Like once we like see the proof, once we see what the defense says, like against all the accusations, against all the evidence.
Yeah, I would love to know what his team has set up for him.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I mean, like, all we have right now is alleges and allegations, and that's all I have right now.
You know what's crazy? The amount of money some lawyers get for defending a very bad person. This isn't me saying like the David guy is a bad person. It's just in general. Like a lot of celebrities that face
Like defense attorneys.
Yeah, that have faced criminal charges, and then their attorney gets them out of it. It's like, dang, you are getting paid a lot of money to just side with someone who is not a good person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you live with yourself? Probably well in that nice fancy house of yours.
Yeah.
Paid by blood money.
Blood money.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just like crazy to think about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's all I have because that's like why I framed this episode as like what we know so far. It's not like what happened or this is the full story. It's like the case is not done. So once we get more information on it, I'll put it out there. But on to other things. Azzilee.
I'm sorry, guys.
She has a Pokemon thing
we
to
don't
open
have
up.
to
I know.
do this today.
No, we got to do it. We got to do it.
Make it end on a nice note.
Yeah, we can end on a good note. But again, yeah.
I was so tempted to open up a pack yesterday because I was like, I deserve this.
You deserve it.
You deserve it.
But then I was so tired. I literally just like forgot about it. I was like, I deserve this, guys.
Is it a God pack?
No.
Dang.
No God pack. I just watched a video though of a girl
Opening a God pack?
she was being made fun of in a card shop.
You might have to turn the camera off. There you go.
Getting made fun of in a card shop by some boys. And then she got a God pack.
Yeah, and I bet you the boys were like, "Oh my god."
The boy who was like seriously making fun of her, he left, and the other boys joined her table and were like hyping her up.
Oh, is that good?
Dude, we got like 2 of these when we opened with
Oh
you
yeah,
guys.
we did get
Can I
that.
see?
The
I can't see.
Mimikyu.
The
Oh,
Mimikyu.
let me cute.
The Team Rocket's Mimikyu.
Dude, I thought that was like a big card. You're like, oh.
It's so cute. And
Oh.
that's still pretty cool. This is a nice card. I have like 3 of them now.
Nice.
That is crazy.
It's so cute. Mimikyu.
Mimikyu.
Is that worth anything?
Yeah.
Cuteness
Probably, like,
points?
Couple 20. A cool 20,
Oh, that's cool. 20.
maybe.
Nice. All right, we
nice
ended
one.
on a good note.
We
I'm
did.
sorry about the sad
Hopefully good
story.
things come from,
The case.
yeah.
Hopefully
Like
more.
good things for justice for the girl.
Yeah, hopefully more truth comes out so we
Yeah.
can cover it. Yeah, we're almost on episode 100.
Yeah, what was this one?
But 95.
No, 95.
So we got 5 more. I gotta contact the Carbonated Concepts and
They gotta come on. We gotta do our 100th episode with them.
yeah, they said they wanted to do it with us.
We gotta drink.
Yeah, we gotta kick it.
I'll bring NA stuff and make you a very nice beverage.
Yeah, what are they called? Mocktails?
Yeah, we'll make you a nice
Mocktails.
mocktail.
Yeah. You want to add anything else? You guys want to add anything else?
Oh, I don't have anything.
Okay. So thank you. Keep grinding those levels and finishing those side quests.
As always, this has been Co-op Chronicles with Pint-Sized Geisha, Blacklabel, and me, Azzilee.
Bye.
Bye.
That was a rough one.
We gather round the mic, tales of knights and dice, gaming worlds collide, hobbies come alive. Azzilee and Geisha chat, Blacklabel's where it's at. Movies and stories told, secrets to unfold. Co-op Chronicles, Come and join the ride in a world where fun resides. Co-op Chronicles, here